Hey guys, it's Becky with Design Bundles, and I'm super excited to be here. I get really wound up anytime I get to play with a new toy. So hopefully you all will join me in my excitement because I'm here to show you and tell you all about the Cricut Joy. So I finally got my hands on one of these bad boys, and I'm really excited to see all the fun projects that I can make with it. Now, what we're going to do in this video, we're going to do a full unboxing. I have not opened this bad boy yet. And once we do that, we will go through all the pieces. I will show you some up close video and photos of the Cricut Joy. We'll take some measurements, talk about sizing, and then we will do our very first project using the Cricut Joy. All right, great. Let's go ahead and get started. I am going to use my little craft knife here. And there's a few taped areas here right along the edge. Now remember, you want to take care of your boxing because this is the boxing that you'll need if something were to happen. Cricut always has a very good warranty to replace anything that may go wrong or be wrong with your machine. So keep your boxing. Okay. Now, Cricut always has really great packaging, okay? Really great. This, obviously no exception. We have some form-fitting molds that were designed to hold our Cricut Joy in place. Just so excited. Look at the inside. Ooh! Okay. So, initial reaction is actually a little heavier than I thought, which is not a big deal. It's not really heavy. Maybe we'll weigh it and see exactly how much we're talking about here. But it's nice, wrapped in plastic. And then, of course, we have tools on the bottom. All right, this is going to be part of our power cord. So these are the two pieces, and they're going to fit together here. And I have a Cricut Joy. It's either going to be a marker or a pen, so we'll explore that. And naturally, our little packet of information. So it says open me. Who am I to resist, right? Okay. All right, so we have our Let's Get Started book. Now this book is going to contain your setup steps. Now it talks about going to Cricut.com for setup. You have a smart vinyl sample. You have the blade, and it shows you going to the website to create a project, okay? This is, this must be a sample of their cards. They have a set of cards that are specifically made for the Cricut Joy, so we'll get to play with that. This is a sample of the Smart Vinyl, and from what I hear, the Cricut Smart Vinyl for the Joy does not require cutting with a cutting mat. You guys, this is the cutting mat. Is this not the cutest thing you've ever seen? That's been my obsession with the Cricut Joy the whole time. It is just so darn cute. And information about your warranty, make sure you save this, okay? All right, so those are all the pieces in our box. Now I'm going to box this back up and keep all my pieces together. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at some up-close shots of this Cricut Joy and really see what you're working with here. Alrighty, so let's take a look at what we got here. We talked about the little Cricut Joy, super cute. Our power cords, the marker, the adorable mat. Let's talk about this mat. So this mat is roughly, 5.5 inches wide and 8.5 inches long. So ridiculously cute. You can always get me with the small, pretty stuff. All right, that is our smart vinyl, which you will see is the same width as the mat. This is the vinyl we talked about that does not have to be cut on a mat. And this is going to be a cardstock sample. Okay, so let's go ahead and open our Cricut Joy. So be careful that I don't accidentally mark my machine. I like my machines mark free when at all possible. Now let's just say this is totally my color. Cricut really hit the mark with the color of this. Okay, so open it up. You just pull down. We have the blade, which is really, really cute. You want to make sure that you take out any of the packaging in there. That is the only packaging I see. There's going to be a film here that I can remove. Okay, so I had to use my little craft knife. I normally don't like doing that, but there we go. All right, so that is the inside of our Cricut Joy. Let's go ahead and plug it in. So remember, I already connected these two. I want to undo the twist ties. One to go. I will go ahead and plug this guy in. Okay. There we go. We are plugged in. I'm going to move this cord out of the way and set the maker a little far back. Okay. Set our packaging to the side. Open back up. Let's talk about this blade. Now, this blade is not obviously the same as the blades for your Maker or your Explore Airs. Let's look at the comparison for those. This will be the comparison for your two blade sizes. So it's quite a bit smaller. We will have to explore how the actual blade is different. Okay, but the end of it looks the same. So let's explore using our mat and also the smart vinyl. So the mat, of course, comes with a protective sheet. There we go. And just the same as with the other Cricut machines, we have two guides here. Okay, so what we're going to do, I have the Cricut app on my phone here, and I am going to do a machine setup. I'm not sure that you guys can see on the video. I'll choose the Cricut Joy. It says plug in the Joy and power on. Tap continue to connect. It does have a warning that the location Bluetooth access is required, and we are going to allow that. Now, I will tap the add button and my machine pops up on my screen. I will choose pair and allow the Bluetooth request, and tells me it was successfully connected. So it is checking the firmware on my machine just to make sure everything is up to date, and it just tells me that I need to stay in range and stay powered on during the update. Now, firmware updates aren't anything to be afraid of. Firmware updates are good to make sure that your machine and your technology are going to work well together. Okay, so the machine keyed up. So I assume that these two are communicating. There we go. We are updating the second part now. It says updating 2 of 2. Okay, it was a success. Choose next. I will accept the terms and conditions for Cricut and register. It says my Joy is set up and ready to go. I do not have the Cricut access because I usually get my designs from design bundles, so I'll just choose maybe later. Okay, so it says let's test a cut. So I'm excited about this. I am going to cut, I will do the bear shape because I want to try out this cardstock here. So I will leave my phone here. So I have my cutting mat. I will simply put my cardstock onto my ridiculously cute cutting mat. Choose next. Prepare for cut. So it wants to confirm that the blade is set and in place with the clamp closed. We are good with that. And it says this is wanting me to use the smart vinyl. We are going to wait and use that again. For now, we are going to try to cut this cardstock. But it says just to line it up under the tabs here and up against the rollers. So if you want to see what that looks like, that's what we're working with. Oh, okay, there we go. So you have to give it a little push since there's no load and unload. So it is now wanting to start this cut, and I do not have my smart vinyl in there, but I'm going to go ahead and hit go. We'll see what happens. Now, because this is on a vinyl setting, this should just score the top of the cardstock. I'm just not ready to use my smart vinyl just yet. I have another project in mind for it. I will hit unload. Yep, and that's what we have. It scored the top of the cardstock, and that's okay. So I'm just going to hit start designing, and it will open up the categories that I can access. Now I will do a new project. So it says replace canvas content. I'm going to hit cancel because I'm going to keep that bear on there. And I will go to make it. And it asks me if I want on the mat. I will hit continue. Connect my Joy. I think Joy is a really fun name too. Okay, and it gives me all of my different materials here. It does start with the insert cardstock, which is what this is going to be. It says load tools and mat. So remember, I'm going to give this all the way up to the rollers. There we go. So there must be a sensor in there that picks up when it is close. And find point blade. I'm going to tap go. Okay, so my cut is complete. I can unload my mat, and let's see how we did. There we go. So I got a very, very good cut. I'm very happy with this cut, although I'm tearing the cardstock. Okay, so it just pops right off, and that is my little bear that I chose. So I'm very impressed, not only with how well the cardstock cut, but with how quick and quiet the Cricut Joy was. I was very happy with that. So I'm going to set this aside, And let's go ahead and design something and cut with our smart vinyl sample. I am going to go to my uploaded images. I want to test how the Joy cuts small items. So I'm going to choose one of my designs that's a little smaller. It has some small text rather. I will size it. I want, let's see, we said that the cutting mat was 5.5 inches wide, but my cutting area is only 4.5 inches. So I want to make sure my design is, let me see, that one is a little under 4.25. Under actions, hit attach and then choose make it. Without that, continue, connect to my Joy. Says success, it is connected. Now because I chose without a mat, I only have a few options here. So I am going to choose the Smart Vinyl Permanent. Okay, accepted my vinyl. I'm going to hit go. So while the machine is cutting, let's talk about a few things that we need answers to in regards to the Cricut Joy. So I really need to know if this machine is going to handle the small detail well, because that is the number one idea for using this machine going forward. I like that about the Cricut family of machines, that they do handle detail well, and I'm hoping that this one isn't going to be any different from that. This is going to be nicknamed my Scrap Buster machine, so it's just the perfect size to really handle all the scrap pieces of materials that you have laying around. And being that it is so small and has a small footprint, it makes it even more ideal for those purposes because you can keep it handy without junking up your workspace. I'm also really interested to see how the vinyl cuts in comparison to regular vinyl. The Smart Vinyl, from what I understand, is new and exclusive to the Cricut Joy machine for now. So I'm interested to see if it is going to be a good quality vinyl, and I'm also interested to see if I'm going to be able to take other brands of vinyl that are similar in size and cut those with the Cricut Joy as well. Being able to cut without a mat is a really big deal and relatively new to Cricut users. Mats can be fairly expensive, and even though these mats are a lot smaller than normal, they actually come with a bigger price tag in comparison to what you can get normal Cricut mats for. So, cutting without the mat, especially for these smaller mats at a bigger price tag, is going to be very beneficial. So my initial impression is I'm very impressed. I don't have any loose pieces of vinyl on the mat, and these, while not the smallest project I've ever cut, this is a pretty small project. So I'm gonna go through and test out some of these smaller areas and just see how good my cut is. As of right now, this machine is really winning me over, and I'm very anxious to see what our final cut is going to look like. So let's go ahead and start peeling up at the corner, because that's also going to give me a little bit more information on how it cut overall Looks like I had a small hang up with my Y letter. That's not a deal breaker for me. Anytime you're cutting small text, you have to be on the lookout for that. But I will say overall, this is going really well. See already I'm going to use my tweezers to help these inside pieces, but other than that, I got a good cut. It didn't cut too deep. It didn't cut through the backing. This is peeling up really, really easy, and I'm just very happy. I have to say that the Cricut Joy really fulfilled the need for small details, which will be very important for the size projects that it can handle. So that was our very first project with our Cricut Joy. Overall, I am very excited to have this machine in my life, and I know that I will be using it all the time. I'm a big fan of using scraps, and that's what I'm going to call this little guy. This is a scrap buster. So now, no need to break out my full clunky machine. I can grab my Cricut Joy, grab my cell phone, do a little project, and move on with my day, right? Super excited about that. Now, let's talk about other reasons why I might want a Cricut Joy. There are a lot of crafters who are on the go all the time. They go to crops, they go to different events. This is something that I could see bringing along with me. Also, if I lived in an RV or if I had a very limited workspace at home, maybe I want an extra machine for work. Whatever reason you can think of, there's never a bad reason to buy this Cricut Joy. But let's talk about the flip side of that. For roughly $30 more, because this machine is approximately $170 depending on where you get it, if there's any sales going on. $170, a Cricut Explore Air 2 I can score on a good day for about $200. So for $30 more, I could have a full cutting size of 12 by 24 inches instead of roughly 4.5 by 6.5 inches on my mat. Okay, that is a really big deciding factor for me. I do not recommend this as a first introductory machine because within a short amount of time, you are going to feel limited. However, if you are a card cutter or you just need to cut decals, or like I said, on the move all the time and need the smaller footprint, this is a really great machine. And as with all things that come in a mini size, it is ridiculously cute. So don't write it off just yet. It is something to think about. It has a lot of benefits on why you would add this to your arsenal, but there are a few drawbacks as well. So you just really have to be able to take a look at it, weigh the pros and cons, and decide if this is the machine for you. I'm really glad you joined me today. Always, always, always check out what Design Bundles has to offer. We're doing new videos all the time, and we want to make sure that you guys are getting the most out of your crafting time, your crafting materials, and your crafting machines. Thank you again.